and welcome to a video to help you better prepare for the state board exam. We are going to start off by displaying your supplies that you need to bring to the exam. These are tissue papers, paper towel, disinfecting wipes, cotton, as many disposables as you can, spatulas, makeup sponges, applicators, Q-tips, some plastic jars. Everything that is disposable is going to make your life a lot easier and you're going to execute the makeup a lot faster. Then please don't forget to bring your own trash bag. Just a simple bag, but it needs to be labeled as trash, where you are going to put all your disposables after using. So we are going to start off by using a disinfecting wipe and thoroughly cleaning our workstation. After wiping with the wet wipe, we are going to dry everything with a paper towel. Once our table is nice and clean, ready to be used, it is best to just lay a brand new disposable sheet. I'm gonna use regular paper towel. And set our mannequin head all nice and clean. And then we are gonna set our makeup products that we are gonna use today. First, our reusable brushes are gonna be in a box labeled clean. These are clean and disinfected. And then we are gonna have another box labeled dirty. After using the clean brushes, we need to put them in the dirty container, as opposed to the disposables, which are gonna go in the trash bag. For the makeup, we need a foundation and a concealer. Now the mannequin's head, right, it's a really light tone, so you can buy any brand that you like to use as foundation. Just make sure you are gonna buy the lightest shade that they have with a yellow undertone. So right now I am using 1N1 in Estee Lauder. You absolutely don't need to use these brands. I'm just showing you for demonstration why. And the concealer is shade 1C with cool undertone. So these are the lightest shades in this brand. Then I will be using a setting powder, which is translucent. Setting powder is really important because it's gonna make all the makeup glide smoothly right after you apply the foundation. And then of course I will pull out my disposables. Some makeup sponges, spatulas. You can have as many spatulas as you want because you're gonna grab products all the time by using the spatulas. You're gonna need a bunch of Q-tips. Mascara applicators, you don't need to use them for mascara, but I'm gonna have one disposable mascara applicator for the brushes, right? We need to simulate like combing the brushes, the brows, I'm sorry, not the brushes, the brows. And then I'm gonna have some lipstick disposables. And and some containers. I'm gonna have a lot of containers to put the foundation, powder, everything that is liquid or powder. I can put them in this kind of containers. And I'm gonna have some cotton. It's really useful to apply powder and blush. Okay, so now we can start doing the makeup of our mannequin once we have set our station. I forgot to mention a few other products. Right, is alcohol, labeled alcohol in a bottle, hand sanitizer to be used right before starting the makeup application, and I'm gonna have some Volmist too to use it at the very end just to set my makeup. So other products to be used, I'm gonna be using a eyeshadow palette. From this eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna be using some shades for the eyes, but also some of them as blush. So I don't wanna carry too many products, right? I wanna have my table as neat as possible. So basically this eyeshadow palette is gonna be multitasking for me. I will have an eye kohl for the eyeliner, lip liner, and a lipstick. After cleanse, tone, and moisturize, the first step is that we are gonna apply the foundation. We are gonna use a container to put some foundation in the container. Right, I'm gonna have some foundation here, and then by using a sponge applicator, I'm gonna start applying the foundation on my mannequin head, starting from the center of the face. Make sure you touch the jawline, going down on the neck, just like on a regular customer. Going up on the forehead, up to the hairline, and remember, generally we go with downwards motion, downwards. Make sure to blend everything nice and well. My foundation specifically dries out pretty fast, so I also need to be working pretty fast. Now I'm just making sure that everything is blended, especially around the bridges of the nostrils, around the mouth. Just double checking that everything is nice and blended next to the ears as well, and on the neck as well. Make sure you blend everything nice and well. After I finished with this makeup sponge, I'm gonna place it in the trash bag. The trash bag, you can scotch tape it on the table so you don't move it around. I just wanted to show you in front of the camera. Once this container has been used, I'm gonna dispose just the same in the trash bag. right? So everything once used, you put it in the trash bag. Now I will continue by using the concealer, following exactly the same steps. After applying the foundation, I'm gonna apply the concealer. The same way, I'm gonna put some product in the disposable jar. Not too much because I don't want to use a lot of concealer. And I will take another makeup sponge, brand new one and clean, and then apply concealer in the eye area. I'm gonna apply some concealer on the eyelids as well to work as an eye primer. And after blending very well the concealer and the foundation, so you don't see any difference in these two colors, right? I will move on into setting everything with powder. I'm gonna put some powder in a disposable cup. And I'm gonna apply by using some cotton. Make sure you remove the excess, never by blowing. You need to tap, tap, tap to remove the excess. And then I'm gonna start setting the foundation from the center of the face, going towards the outer edges. Now make sure you apply powder on the eyelids as well, because this is gonna help you blend the eyeshadows. You are gonna find it a little bit challenging to blend the eyeshadows on the mannequin head, but if you're gonna use this trick, it's gonna be a lot easier. So just make sure you powder really well. Just imagine you have a client with very oily face. You see how much powder I'm applying? Generally, this is a very generous amount, a very generous amount of powder. Under the lips, neck, everything we wanna set with powder. Okay. Then we can start off and measuring the brows. How do we measure the brows? First, you need to remember you have 3 points that we need to keep into consideration, right? I'm gonna be using a brow brush, and by using a tissue paper, I'm gonna take some eyeshadow. I will show you also the shade from this eyeshadow palette. If you don't have this specific eyeshadow palette, don't worry, you just need to use a color that is grayish, ashy undertone, right? Something that is not really yellow. So I'm going to be using this color. Right? Take some product on the tissue paper. And from the tissue paper, I will take some on my brush and then measure the brows. This is gonna be my starting point. 1. This is going to be the arch, right? So we have a parallel line ending at the iris point, parallel at the iris point. And then to determine the end of the brow, I'm going to angle the brush nostril and outer corner of the eye. Nostril, outer corner of the eye. So now I'm just making sure they are level, right? That I'm gonna start in the same point. Then I'm gonna make sure these are leveled. And the end of the brow. I will just measure one more time. Okay, once this step is completed, I can start and draw a shape. We are starting to have a face, don't we? Try not to make only one continuous line. So that you can soften the edges as you go. So this is our guideline, let's say. After drawing this guideline, we can fill them in. How we fill them in? By drawing brush strokes. Remember the natural direction of the brow growth. In the beginning, they grow upwards, but after let's say 10% of the brow, if we measure them, the angle changes. So for a more natural effect, you need to do that too with your brush. And then keep in mind, the brows also grow in the opposite direction, right? And this is the reason why we have the disposable mascara wand. At the end, we're gonna blend everything together by using a disposable mascara wand. Honestly, this step is gonna require the most amount of patience. Remember, you cannot dip in the pan, so just make sure you have enough product on your tissue as you work, right, on the tissue. If you set the foundation with enough powder, this is also gonna help you remove the excess of this eyeshadow that you see. I do have some drop shadow here, so because I used enough powder to set my foundation and concealer, it's gonna be really easy now to remove this excess that otherwise, you know, it might just stain. So let's see now. I'm gonna take a clean piece of cotton and I'm gonna gently buff this excess eyeshadow slowly and gently. Try not to press when you remove this excess. I will only press here where you see I did had a line to measure the brows, and I don't want that line to be visible anymore. And after filling in the brows, I will come with a disposable mascara wand and I'm gonna gently doing some stroking motions, just like combing them. After this step is complete, I can move on and start the eye makeup. For the eye makeup, keep in mind that your client has a pretty small eyelid. So therefore, we are gonna choose a brush that is a good shape for this kind of eyelid, right? So I will choose a blending brush, but that is a small size. Taking another tissue paper, I'm gonna choose a color. Remember, we are doing a daytime makeup. Daytime makeup meaning that it doesn't need to be very intense. So for the dark color, I'm even gonna choose this shade of dusty pink. Taking it on my tissue paper. And I will start applying in the outer corner of the eye. Blending as I go. And I will try to zoom on the eye. Round motions. And then left and right for blending. Left and right, left and right. And circle, circle. Same color, I'm gonna use it on the other eye. Remember, where your brush touches first, your client, your mannequin is gonna have the most intensity. So I want to have the most intensity here on the outer corner of the eye, because remember, what is the purpose of the eye makeup is to correct the eye shape. The ideal eye shape is almond, right? Almond. So if we want to have an almond shape, we want to elongate a little bit the outer corner of the eye. Once the makeup application of the eyeshadow is nice and blended and you are happy with the blending, you can move on and choose a light color for the mobile lid. Once you are satisfied with this color, you can throw the tissue paper and we're gonna take a brand new one and select a much lighter color, And from this eyeshadow palette, I don't really like to use plain white. I think it's way too harsh. So I'm gonna go with this peachy tone. And I will apply it with a flat brush. Remember, you cannot double dip in the pan, but you can dip as many times as you want on the tissue paper. Next step is applying an eyeliner. I'm gonna use an eye kohl. Make sure it's really sharpened before using. This way is gonna be a lot easier for you to apply. You can start in the inner corner of the eye. It's really easy with this mannequin because you're already having this shape, right? So in the guideline from the State Board, they say that you can apply eyeliner on the upper and lower lid depending on preference, so you can do both. Just make sure you are gonna go upwards towards the temple. And wing it just a little bit. You can use a Q-tip and remove this excess here. Make sure not to rub it like on a really fast and large surface in order not to move the product. You only wanna correct a tiny little bit. This is the eyeliner. Same thing. If you think it's easy, you can do it with a brush as well, with an eyeliner brush. Otherwise, you can do it straight from the eye kohl, as long as you know it's symmetrical. Once we are all set with the eye makeup, we can move on to the blush application. Again, I'm going to be using one of the colors in the eyeshadow palette because I think they are very nice and they work really well. And I'm going to choose something not very intense, maybe this shade of pink, because when we are choosing the blush color, we are taking into consideration the client's skin tone, right? And I'm gonna apply it with cotton. It's a very good well to apply because you can blend it really nice. Just make sure not to apply too much pressure and to blend as you go. Don't apply a bunch of color and then try to blend it. Just blend as you go. Gently like a feather. It's the best way to have a really nice blurry effect. Try to elongate her face shape. Our model has an oval face shape, so she doesn't need much correction. But still, when we are applying the blush, we are trying to elongate the face, not apply it only in a round shape, right? Here should be the apple of the cheek, and we go towards the upper corner of the eye, of the ear, sorry, eye. Okay, same steps on the other side, just make sure it's symmetrical. Round, round, elongated, round, round, elongated, round, round, elongated. So keep in mind she has an oval face shape. And we wanna blend the color really nice and elongate her face shape. When we are applying blush, we always blend upwards, upwards, upwards. Round, 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 elongate, round, 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 elongate. And there we go, we have a blushed model. Next step, the lips. My lip liner is sharpened, and I'm gonna start defining her lip shape starting from the center then connecting with the outer corners of the mouth, lower lip starting from the center, and then connecting with the corners of the mouth. Make sure you connect the upper lip with the lower lip. You can fill in a little bit, why not? It's gonna make your job easier when you apply the lipstick because you're gonna have a base, right, of color. And this lip liner, we can blend it by using a lip applicator disposable. Slightly blend it towards the inner part. You need to have a little bit of patience to make sure everything is nice and blended, because this is gonna facilitate the lip application. I mean the lipstick application. This is gonna facilitate the lipstick application. Make sure the contour is really well defined. And check for symmetry. Once you have the shape and the symmetry, we can move on into applying the lipstick. This is a cream product, so basically we are gonna scoop some on a spatula and we're gonna take the product from the spatula with a lip applicator, with a brush, whatever it feels more comfortable for you. I'm gonna use a brush. Once we have the lip symmetry, we are gonna take some lipstick. Now keep in mind the lipstick is a creamy product, so I'm gonna scoop some product on a spatula. And from the spatula, I'm gonna apply with a lipstick applicator. Or if it's easier for you, you can apply it with a brush. As you can see, applying lipstick might be a little bit challenging. This is why I suggest that you fill in as much as you can with a lip liner. As we have finished with the makeup application, we can apply some Val Mist just to set everything in place. Just make sure you're gonna spray from quite a generous distance, right? This is gonna help set the makeup products in, and by the end of your makeup application, So by the end of the makeup application, you should have all your used products in one side. In one box, you should have the dirty brushes that you have used, the clean ones that you haven't used, and then in your trash bag that you are gonna take with you outside of the room, you're gonna have all the trash, all the disposables that you have used so far. I hope this was a useful video for you, and best of luck with your state board exam.